Hey there, my name is Russ Lagan. You are in the Big Agent Meeting, and today is the day of love. It is Valentine's Day. And for those of you out there, loving the people you love is easy. Maybe this year for Valentine's Day, let's try to show some love to the people that aren't that easy to love. Let's show some love to the people that aren't like us, the people that are different from us, and all of those people that probably need love more than anyone out there. So, happy Valentine's Day. We have a great show lined up for you guys today. We're going to kick off straight out of the gate with Holly Mabry talking about brokerage ops updates. There's always stuff going on. We've got Ian Wheatley with an update from KGCI Radio, and then we're going to kick over to University with Brian Ellington. He's going to tell you guys what's coming along in University, some of the things you need to see and get ready for coming up in the next week or two. And then my favorite part of this show today is Brian Ellington is going to be interviewing DeVante Blow. If you guys don't know DeVante Blow, he's an amazing guy, super cool dude, just a great soul, great spirit. And by the way, he wrote a book recently. So with that, he's going to be a great interview today. I'm super excited for that. So let's kick off with Market Minute. Now, you guys, I like to kick off the show with Market Minute because if you know some of the numbers and the stats, it changes what you do. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a reminder and a little bit of a twist to something we've been talking about. You've heard me say in the last couple of weeks, we're at 4 million homes sold in 2024. We're at 4.09 million in 2023. We're expecting somewhere in the 4.1 to 4.2 million home sales to go on this year. But the number I saw recently that kind of shocked me and surprised me and made me think, wow, we need to know this, is there are 9 million people that are in the 25 to 34-year-old age bracket that are either living with their parents or living with their in-laws, which means there's a bunch of people out there that are actually not buying a house yet. You may have seen in previous weeks, I've talked about the average age of the first-time home buyer now is 38, which is actually up quite a bit for a number of different reasons. But if you start looking at this age group and this purchase date, you're going to start to see we've got a little bit of pent-up demand building again. If this age drops down a little bit, these guys start kicking into play right out of the gate. So as you're doing your business and running your business and thinking, who am I communicating with? What am I communicating to them? Part of this story can be, hey, if you're still living at home or living with your in-laws and you're thinking about buying a home, let's talk through some of that and see what you could or couldn't do right now. Worst case scenario, let's get you prepared so you know exactly what it would take for you to be able to get into a home if you want to do that. The other part of this conversation then becomes this. The second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time home buyers, average age is 61. So if you're going to be marketing to the people that aren't first-time home buyers, you need to think about how you're marketing. Is your average 61-year-old on TikTok? Not as many as I thought, right? So we need to start thinking, where are these people and where can I find these people? Well, I'm not saying anything bad about TikTok or things like that. I'm just simply saying these people are more likely to be on Facebook and Instagram. They're more likely to be hanging out with people face-to-face than they are to be online looking for their real estate agent. So start thinking about what you're doing and how can we add value to these people, educate these people, and then they're going to start calling you versus you chasing them. All right, there's your Market Minute for February 14th, Valentine's Day. Next up, we've got Ian Wheatley, KGCI. What's going on at KGCI? Take it away, Ian. All right. Sometimes that happens. So let's drop right over to Brokerage Ops update with the one and only, the incomparable Holly Mabry.
Hey, friend, how are you? Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you. By the way, I want to say this out loud so everybody can hear me say it, okay? And it's not going to be weird. I love working with you.
Oh, same, friend. Same. How lucky are we? We get to do this together with all of our favorite people.
Yes.
Yes, please. More.
Yeah, agreed. So what do you got for us today?
You know, I love that you dove into what's going on with our first-time home buyers and pent-up demand. And so as we kick into kind of like looking at everything going on in the market, I thought I'd share a couple of stats with you and give you some things to put in your pocket as you're starting to look at working with buyers and sellers right now. So first and foremost, right out of the gate, this I thought was super interesting. We have on historic, like for every new job created or 2 new jobs created, there was 1 single family permit pulled. Well, this is what's so crazy. When you look at these high demand areas, they are pushing like 18. So they're only pulling, 18 permits
Right.
And so we're seeing that get better from where we were at December a year ago, but it's not there yet. And so as a result, 121 of the major metro areas still experiencing a housing shortage. Now, for those of you out on the street, you're like, thanks, Mabry. I knew that. But what is important about this is it is getting better. We're not seeing it fast enough. Now, let's talk about the highest growth in population. If I'm looking at District of Columbia, Florida, Texas, Utah, this is where we saw a lot of our migration. So if I'm an agent in those states, this is what I'm looking at. Where did people move from? And this is really critical right now. We're seeing these big environmental events from the hurricanes in Florida to North Carolina, flooding, then everything that has happened forest fire-wise across the West. What's important about this is what do you have for infrastructure? Where are your feeder markets? So Russ, this is what I used to do when I was in production all the time. I would always look at where are the direct flights coming from. If there are new direct flights being opened up from, and I know you're in Michigan, so in Illinois, all of a sudden we saw all these direct flights going from Illinois to Arizona or from North Dakota or South Dakota to Arizona. Those were my new feeder markets. And so what I would start to think about is, okay, how do I geo-market those folks out in North Dakota? What are they looking for? What are their needs? What is the price range? So as you're looking at all of these population centers that are starting to explode, South Carolina, Nevada, also, why are people moving there? Taxes, quality of life, warmth, right? Like, let's just talk about what it looks like to live there. So those are things that I want you to think about. If you're an agent in one of those states, I happen to be in Arizona, I'm going to tout all day long. The only thing I shovel is sunshine. And so it's really important. Like salt, that goes on the margarita. It's not where I put out on the road. So those are the types of marketing things I want you to be thinking about as you go forward. But let's give you some other tips as you look at everything. The down payment percentage was the highest it's ever been as we concluded 2024. The median down payment was 18%. Russ, that blew my mind. First-time home buyers, around 9%. And what was even crazier is repeat buyers, right around 23%.
Wow.
Highest since 97 for first-time home buyers.
That's amazing.
All right. Let's talk about why that is. When you look at last year, competitive market, right? You had multiple offers, lack of inventory. So for those agents who were, or those buyers who were competing, maybe they were coming to the table with just a little bit more. A little bit more to get into the property, a little bit more to kind of squeeze and see what was possible. This is where I want to arm you going forward as an agent. And it becomes so important to just be prepared for what's next. I want you to be thinking about your buyer roadmap for success. What Russ just laid out for you is we've got 9 million people with this pent-up demand. But if you and I have a roadmap for success and how we take care of people, I want you to talk about the interest rate ride. And a lot of people are like, oh, rates are so high. I'm not waiting until rates come down. Too late. You missed the bottom. That was last September. Where we're at, rates have steadily dropped, not measurably, but steadily dropped since January. The good news in that is we're not hitting 7%. The bad news in that is we're not below 6. We're in the high 6s. Likely that's where we're going to live all of 2025. And so if I'm a buyer in this market, it's really about what can I buy? What can I afford that works best for them, not just today, but future state? Now, the other thing that's in this, and this is where you and I show up as such incredible professionals, and I really want to empower you. This phrase, this script I use all the time. We're going to inspect what we expect. Anytime you and I are working with the buyer, I'm going to be talking to them about, hey, do you think the roof is good? And they say, oh yeah, the roof looks great. Cool, let's inspect what we expect. Let's get somebody up there. Let's double check that. Let's go ahead and follow through so you have a really good feeling and also knowledge of what you're buying. Now, let's talk about loan types because we've got so many buyers, first-time home buyers. There's some cool tools. And Russ, this is one of my most favorite tools in the marketplace. I used it a lot with buyers.
Oh, I love this.
Oh, yeah, baby. This is such one of my favorite loans. It's a 203K renovation loan. It's FHA. So you're looking at 3.5% down. Now your credit score just needs to be 590 and above. And
Yep.
wait for it. You can go buy the house or pick out the house. And let's say you need to update the kitchen, like as seen here.
Yep.
Little bit dated on one side, a little bit more modern on the other.
Yep.
And so up to $35,000, you can actually wrap into that loan. What ends up happening as an agent, you help the buyer get all the quotes for the kitchen renovation, or maybe they're updating flooring. Like it could be as little as $5,000 to
Yep.
as big as 35. And what's so great about it is it wraps all together. So now you have an updated house. You only have to live in the house for 1 year. There's so many positives to this, because what we're seeing is some dated inventory coming on. People have lived in the house for 10, 20 more years.
Yeah.
Those avocado appliances, or, oh my goodness, in my neck of the woods, the peach, the howling
Yep.
coyote peach. Whew,
Yep.
just go through the Golden Girl, right? And so as a result, I really want to empower you. Know about this loan. I know our partners at Success Lending, they do this loan. They do a phenomenal job. But if you've got a lender that you work with and you trust, take them to coffee, ask about this. This should be a tool in your toolbox to be able to talk to buyers about what it looks like.
Yep.
And if you just sold a buyer this past year and they're like, man, we just can't scrape together the cash to do a one-time like flooring update or HVAC or roof, this is a great opportunity for them to dig in and be awesome. Now, inspections and timing, I really want you to dig in on this. The home inspection, it's just the tip of the iceberg. It allows for more questions: roof, foundation, HVAC. I do want you to consider scoping that sewer. I know that's not sexy first thing in the morning to talk about. You know, roofs are a bad thing. Also, what's happening for you locally? What are you seeing? Is it surveys? Is it radon, lead paint? What does that look like? And then finally, homeowners insurance. Y'all, the homeowners insurance industry is going under an absolute revolution. I know the National Association of Realtors was on Capitol Hill meeting with the insurance committee this week. They're looking a lot at catastrophic coverage and what that looks like. And I know your brokers, we've done some trainings within the broker room around insurance, because state to state, there are some really cool tools that you've got from Arizona to California, Florida, as far as state coverage, if somebody can't get coverage. Go ahead, Russ.
Let me go back to that inspection thing real quick here, because this is something that I've heard and I've been seeing, and I'm seeing agents encourage other agents to get the deal, waive the home inspection. And I think waiving the home inspection is probably one of the most dangerous things you could possibly do in a real estate transaction, just because you just don't know. And a lot of times the sellers don't know either. So they're like, well, the seller had to know. I grew up in the remodeling world, kitchen, bath, remod, project management, and then had my own company doing concrete countertops. Man, we were shocked by the stuff we found, and they didn't have any idea. There was no sale involved. We just opened it up, and they're like, I didn't know that was all mold behind there. So with that being said, this is verbiage that works really, really well in lieu of waiving the home inspection. Say, hey, I know you want us to waive the home inspection. That's great. But I want you to understand, I've talked with my buyer, and when we do the home inspection, if we find a bunch of little nickel and dime stuff, we're just going to say, yes, let's have this baby. Let's go. So if it's under $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 worth of nickel and dime stuff, we're still moving forward. We're not going to nitpick it on. My buyer is in agreement on that. Now, if we find something that's bigger, that you didn't know about, it wasn't disclosed, I didn't know about, and probably the seller didn't know about, we'll talk about that. But otherwise, we're just going to say, yes, let's go. Sound good? And many times
it becomes one of those things, Russ. I love the mindset of setting everybody for success. If I'm working with a buyer, I want to say, what are your non-negotiables?
Yeah.
I want to know what their non-negotiables are. Yep. Like, is it a bad roof? Is it mold? Yep. I've sold plenty of houses where like the wall was literally pulling away from everything, yep, and you could see daylight, and people are like, I'll take it.
Cool.
But you know what was interesting about that? They had contractors, they had people, they knew what they were getting into, and we went in with an open mind of what we could negotiate.
Yeah.
But when you go in with a first-time home buyer on their non-negotiables, yep, and what makes sense, don't ever waive the inspection, because the minute you or I do that, we're now on the hook because we know better. We're always going to be that professional in the room. That realtor hat never comes off. So advocate and protect your client. It's not about getting the best house. It's about getting the right house.
Exactly.
And that's what's so key. What is best for you and your family? And only you can know when you've got all the information.
Okay.
So insurance, with the home inspection and insurance, I really want you doing those within the first few days of opening escrow. The reason being, I don't want you waiting to get insurance like moments before closing, because it could be a shocker. We're seeing insurance rates go up across the nation, and nobody should be caught flat-footed. The only good surprise is on your birthday or Christmas. Now, as we kind of wrap things up and inspections and timings, I want to give you a little bit more like wherewithal. I want you to leverage your business. I want you to leverage your services so you feel so good about things. This is where you go online and you're showcasing how you work. Anybody is online right now. So whether you're using LinkedIn or you're using TikTok, break it down visually, break it down in small bite-sized segments, talking about your advocacy, how you show up for a buyer or a seller, little strategies that you utilize, like what Russ just laid out as far as home inspection, what to look for, what are your non-negotiables, and why it matters. And then you also want to look about giving information away. That's the best way to become somebody's agent before they need you. You're talking about stats in the area. You're talking about average sales price. Take national stats and make them local. That is the most powerful thing you can do, because people don't understand. Google is wonderful, but not everybody can use it. And that's why you got the license. That's why you're the professional. You're doing all of these things. And then I want you to always be providing value. Leverage it up. Look at how you are providing things as far as statistics, information, and then leverage your local businesses. Talk about what it's great to be in business with the best auto repair shop, the best house painter, the best, you name it, and ask the people for the business. If you're not ready to buy, do you know somebody who is? And of course, we've got your back, because this is something that I'm really excited about. In your hand and in the My EXP app, we just released, and big shout out to our marketing team, My EXP, all the toolkits, seller toolkit, buyer toolkit, Canva, and growth, all there in the palm of your hand on your cell phone. It's awesome. So log into My EXP, go into resources and education, and Russ, you've got every toolkit, all the updated training. It's all there for you.
Amazing. That's fantastic. All right.
Here to help, man. Here to help.
That's a lot of great stuff all in one place. Yeah. So if you guys haven't been in your My EXP app recently, jump in there, man. It's changing literally on a weekly basis. Things are changing. It keeps getting better and better and easier to find the stuff you need to put in your business to make business happen. All right, Holly, thank you very much. I appreciate you very much. And I'll see you again real soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Russ.
Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye. All right, there you go. Holly Mabry, always bringing the fire and good stuff and backs it up with statistics. Got to love that, right? All right, so next up, we have the one and only Brian Ellington with University Spotlight Update. Brian Ellington. Hey, I don't want to make you feel left out here, but it's Valentine's Day, and I wanted you to know I love working with you too.
I love working with you too, buddy. And I love the red, man. I should have thought of that. That's right on cue. Thanks for having me, man. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
Awesome. Hey, I was thinking about this. So I read this quote by Jonathan Safran Foer, and he said, I think and think and think. I've thought myself out of happiness 1 million times, but never once into it. And I think a lot of us as agents, yeah, man, I know. Wow. I love it. So a lot of us as agents, we think and think and think about growing our business and about doing new things in our business that are going to help us be more successful. But sometimes we just don't take the action necessary because we're not exactly sure how to do that. So that's where our friends at University and Elevate Coaching can come in. So let me just share with you a few things coming up, and then we're going to get to our amazing guest today. First up today, this afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern, Mr. Brandon Brittingham. Yeah, there he is. He is not only the #1 team in Maryland, I think he's like #2 team in Delaware, but he's also a 50 million plus investor himself. He's also coached and trained tons of investors. So he's doing Expand Investing for us. Today is a free session, absolutely free. If you hit that QR code today at 2 p.m. Eastern, Brendan's going to be covering a few things. The easiest ways to attract and motivated sellers and cash buyers, how to stop trading time for commissions and let your money work for you, and how to use real estate investment to scale your team or grow your EXP revenue share, whichever one you want to do.
Yep.
So that's today, 2 p.m. Eastern. Again, absolutely free.
Fantastic.
On Monday, Mr. Nathan Graham is going to come on and teach us some secrets to lead generation at Level Up. There you go. So Mr. Nathan Graham, build a real estate business that thrives, the lead generation blueprint. Do check that out. You can never have enough leads. If you do have more than you need, just refer them out. Tuesday, Steve Johnstone comes back for Referral Mastery, scripts, dialogues, and role playing. And then also on Tuesday, Mr. Rene Rodriguez continues Amplify EXP through Elevate Coaching. This coming Tuesday, he's going to have Al Ringleb come on, and they'll be talking about the narrative gap and hidden drivers. Standing out in a crowded world is difficult. So he's going to be talking about differentiation strategies and how to carve out your unique space and make an unforgettable impression that gets you ahead of the competition. Thursday, we've got Mr. Tony King, our friend and sometimes host here. Yes. He's going to be doing 10 productivity hacks for your real estate business. This is part of EXP's masterclass, the executive masterclass. This is a really cool series. So most of our executives have been real estate agents at one time in their lives. And the fact that they're willing to come on and share their specialties and where they're really shine at is just amazing. That happens every Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Then Friday, we get to come back here with you with our friend Jontavia, who's a rookie rock star that's been through FastCap. She's going to share what she's been doing to build her, there she is, to build her business quick. So that's going to be a great show. And you'll really get some really good tips to level up your business fast. And then on Friday, we're also dropping my conversation with Miss Tina Call on the lab. So I talked to Tina in preparation for the upcoming Sponsorship in a Box, and Tina's really sharing the key secrets of an effective sponsor, how to be that person that creates impact in the lives of the individuals that you're bringing to EXP. This is a really cool conversation. And if you don't know Tina, all you need to know is that lady is a beast. I mean, just top, I think top 3 globally for us teams, and also one of our top rev share earners as well. Just a smart lady. But first, I have a friend of mine that I wanted to bring back. We've had him on before. I think last time we talked about open houses, but Russ, you were talking about social media, and he and I had a fun conversation the other day, and I thought, let's talk about it on BAM so that everybody gets the benefit of your wisdom on this. So Mr. DeVante Blow, if you could, sir, please come on out and join us. And Russ, we'll hand it back to you in just a second, sir.
You guys in about 30 minutes.
All right. Well, thank you. Good morning, man. How are you?
I'm great. It's beautiful out here in Washington. How are you, bro?
Bellingham, Washington, the birthplace of EXP. Yes, sir. So, Mr. Blow, for those of you out there that don't know DeVante, would you mind giving us a brief intro to you? And please do include about your book, Just One Layup.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'll start there. Just One Layup. This is an amazing book that it encapsulates a lot of my history here in EXP and in real estate. And then it starts before that as well. From the restaurant industry, struggling to find out, hey, what the heck can I do next? And then going into real estate and having success there, and how I do not believe in the one size fits all mantra, but rather that we all are our own magic bullets. And so that's that. And then me, man, I'm just a fun dude up here in Washington State who loves selling houses and making people's day better, brother. That's it.
Yeah, man. And we had a great conversation. I know you're very good at open houses. And what I loved most about your open house conversation we had was, you want to remind people when you do open houses, like what time and what day you typically will do them?
Yeah. So you know what? Typically when I first started, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do them on Saturdays and Sundays. And then I got this wild idea one day to do it on a Friday at like the weirdest time, right? I'm like, I'm just going to do it from like 1 to 3, 1 to 4 on a Friday. And it was the busiest open house still to this day that I've ever done. And so that I threw that in my repertoire. Fridays, I love them.
You know, I mentioned that I had a friend of mine in a mastermind, it's a group of top agents, and he was doing over 200 deals a year, most of them listings. And he stands up and he's like, yeah, so anyways, I have the sellers all come to my office. I don't go to their house. And we're all like, wait, you can do that? And I think it's like interesting when people kind of go against the grain of what's traditionally thought of, because most of us think open houses, oh, got to kiss the wife and kids goodbye and miss their weekend, miss their activities and things like that. Yes, you have to do that if you think you have to do that. But if you don't think that you have to do that and you're willing to try other things, that's a great thought for you to just push boundaries so that you can have the life that you want and draw your boundaries where you need them for whatever lifestyle you want. But we didn't want to talk about open houses today. We want to talk about social media. And we were talking about this, and I'm going to call you out. You had a little bit of imposter syndrome on this. You're like, I don't know. I don't do a lot of production. And I asked you how much you do. And man, it's more than most agents will ever do in this industry.
Wow.
And so it's the truth, man. It is the truth. And so to be generating multi-millions in volume from social media is tremendous. You go against also convention in this as well. So your Facebook strategy, it's focusing heavily on Facebook instead of necessarily Instagram, although you do use Instagram. What made you realize Facebook was going to be that better platform for you? And how do you structure your content there to generate leads?
Yeah, so the biggest difference for me right now, especially in my business, is Instagram I'm using to educate and help out other agents, right? And we made that switch about a year ago. Facebook has consistently been like the most active and most engaging platform that I've ever been on. And that's because I'm getting old, man. I'm 35, so all of us are on Facebook still. And my mom and everybody that has known me since, I've been very young, or they've watched the progression of me. Right. And so my strategy on Facebook is to invite them into that world, invite them into, hey, you know what? I just spoke at Western Washington University and I had such a great time, and post pictures, and like people are just reaching out. Oh my gosh, DeVante, that's so awesome. That's so you. People, they feel as if they're part of my journey. And what's awesome is they know that I'm a real estate agent. I don't have to repeat, hey, by the way, I just sold this, or I just listed this. In fact, I actually, after our conversation, I went and looked back, and it's been years since I posted a just listed or just sold on my Facebook. And the reason is because they know what I do. I make hints, I give hints here and there, but I just update them on my daily life. Hey, this is what I'm doing. I've been here. I've been there. I was at EXP Con in Miami. People love that one as well. So, just having a good time updating people on life events.
Yeah. And, in terms of creating your audience in Facebook, it seems funny. You say, hey, we're getting old and we're still on Facebook. And I think sometimes people think, okay, what's the new platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I remember back in the late 2000s, a bunch of top agents I knew went back to newspaper advertising. And I asked them, what are you doing? And they're like, look, the eyeballs are still there. And because everybody else went to the next new thing,
mm-hmm.
It got cheaper. It got real cheap. And so for them, it made a whole lot of sense. Facebook is not newspapers, friend. But when we get bombarded with TikTok and Lemonade, and I don't even know how to pronounce the name of the one that was going to replace TikTok before they repealed the ban. But it's tempting to then think, oh, I got to get ahead of the curve. I got to get on the bleeding edge of things. Well, the bleeding edge is the bleeding edge for a reason. You may make it, you may not. Facebook is definitely tried and true. When you think about building your audience there, are you like hardcore, digitally prospecting to find new people to add to them? How do you go about creating that audience?
Yeah. So again, this goes back to, I think Facebook started maybe when I was in 8th or 9th grade. So no, maybe it was somewhere in high school. But anyways, I've had this audience of people that already know, like, and trust me for a very long time. And so I actually don't add a whole bunch of different like real estate agents or, vendors unless I've worked with them or unless we're actually like friends. I'd refer a deal over to you. I want it to be so organic that I don't reach out a lot on Facebook to add more friends. But the people that are on there, and it's growing on a daily basis, right? It's like, oh, hey, I went to high school with this person, or oh, that's my dad's mom's aunt twice removed. It's like, hey, how you doing? It's so funny. A slight plug. Facebook has introduced me to so much family. Like I have so much family in Florida I didn't know about. So it's like, all right, sweet, let's go.
I'm hearing referrals, man. I'm hearing referrals.
Yeah, right. And so, that's really how I've been growing my Facebook, my personal page. And I'm in a couple of different Facebook groups One is like Bellingham Living. So I live in Bellingham, and I think we just crossed like the 100,000 population mark. So we're not very big, but there's a lot of people in this. And, you go in and it's owned by another real estate agent, by another different company. And so I don't go and try to poach, but I'm just paying attention, seeing what people are doing, seeing what people are saying. But mostly growing my Facebook. It's family, friends, and friends in the industry.
Okay. And how does that influence the way in which you market on there? I mean, are you posting just sold, just listed, here's my open house, all the kind of traditional stuff you might think that you would want to post as a real estate agent?
Man, I'm going against the grain. I'm going to ruffle some feathers. I don't post any of those. I don't post just sold, just listed. In fact, I just did my my recap of 2024, and I don't think I put a house sell on there. I was just showing people the lifestyle that I'm living and the impact that I'm making on my community and in the industry as well, by speaking, and things like that. So I don't post a lot about real estate at all. Sorry, man.
So you mentioned some of the things that you do post. Can you give us a sample, like past few weeks or whatever? What all have you been posting up there so they have a sense?
Yeah. So let's see. It was last week I made a post. It was about me going to speak at Western Washington University. It's the biggest college that is here in our town. We have 3 colleges here, and it's quite big for Washington State too. And spoke to the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Club, and had a great time. And, there's some funny pictures of me like being super serious when I was talking and then making fun of myself. And, kind of gave a little synopsis of what I talked about, right? So, hey, entrepreneurship is X, Y, and Z. To me, this has been my experience. And a lot of people have seen me on my Facebook, have seen me walk through the things that I was talking about. And so it resonated with them. Before that, we're doing recaps. I did a recap on January. That was pretty fun. Let's see what else. I haven't even posted. This is actual news. Like, I'm dropping. This is hot off the press. My wife and I, we are selling our house and buying a new house. I haven't even made that post yet. So super excited about that. But those are the things that I'll be posting.
I find moving as a realtor is penitence for all the things you've done wrong in your career. It's your punishment, man. So I'm sorry to hear that you're going to have to go through it. I went through 3 moves in under a year, man. I think I've been absolved of all my past sins. So here's what's interesting. I bet people are hearing this and going, okay, but how do you get business, right? So you're posting about your life. That's great. But how does that turn into business? Can you share a little bit about how this works? How do you turn those likes into leads?
Yes, I love this. So this is where it gets fun, right? So all the things that I'm posting are, number one, they're going to keep you top of mind, but then 2, they're conversation starters, right? I had somebody, after I posted the Western Washington University, I've had 3 people reach out since then. 1 scheduled another speaking engagement, and then 2 were like, dude, oh my gosh, I just found this house in Oak Harbor, Washington. I saw that you're speaking in Western Washington, which is they're about an hour away from each other, but I actually grew up in Oak Harbor. And so they're super interested in trying to buy. And then there's another person who lives in Anacortes, who 45 minutes away. They're looking to sell 2 properties and purchase essentially a compound for them and their grandparents. And it was just staying top of mind, right? They reached out because they liked it, they commented on it, and then, within a day or 2, they're messaging me, oh, by the way. And I love the oh, by the way conversations. When I reach out to people, it's genuine. I don't use Facebook, to try to get business, but it does work though. At the same time, like, I won't reach out to somebody and say, hey man, you ready to buy? I'm actually commenting happy birthday. I'm not using the little, that little button that you can press and it's like the stock happy birthday with the flags and everything. Hey man, happy birthday. And then I'll reach out on the DMs as well. Yo, happy birthday, shoot a little video text. Love those. Open rate on those is crazy. But people just reach out. It keeps the conversation going. Like, dude, DeVante, what the heck? You were in Miami? That's so cool. Yeah, man, I was, and then by the way. So those by the ways, that's where the business is at.
Yeah, and I think what's really important about this is it fits into a broader strategy. And lately, I've been doing a lot of interviews with our top agents for these lead generation training modules we're creating through the university. By the way, shameless plug. Stay tuned. That's coming. But they're fitting social media almost like a add-on, an extension of their CRM.
Mm.
And so you're where you would traditionally do like a touch campaign over the course of a year, where you might do pop buys, phone calls, and then email campaign, newsletter, and things like that. You're using Facebook as that sort of personal touch, but that's not the only thing you're doing, right? Can you talk a little bit about your CRM and Instagram and how all that fits together?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're still using KV Core for our CRM. And honestly, one of the biggest things that comes from all the social medias is, of course, you want a newsletter, right? You want to have some type of thing that says, I am still in real estate, guys. Like you got to give some bit of like, hey, I'm still doing this. And so the opt-in rate, after people see you in the light of success or in the light of success of real estate, they want to know more about it. And so I have a plug that says, if you'd like more information, subscribe to my newsletter. That's where you'll be inundated with this house I just put on the market. I have, this buyer looking for X, Y, and Z. And this is a weekly newsletter that goes out. So we use that a lot as well. And then going back to Instagram, I actually do about 30 DMs a day, 30 DMs a day. So I'm like hounding. I spend an hour just DMing people that I know, people that are following, people that I aspire to be, or people that are looking for, coaching that I can help out with. And so that's been a great addition to Instagram as well. Sorry.
Yeah. And it's funny. We had John Cheplak, an amazing coach, on a call yesterday with our top attractors, right? And he was talking about attraction strategies, recruiting agents into EXP. And what he said was very true, right? Back in the days when you were recruiting, it was usually kind of like 3 deposits, then you make 1 ask, right? So I love. Oh, hey, by the way, would you be interested in having coffee and talking about this, right? Whatever that might be. What he said is that those days are gone, right? People have become jaded. A lot of kind of copycat companies out there that are more recruiting centric than production centric. And so as a result, they're just getting inundated. And so you show up and do the jab, jab, jab hook, they're going to see right through it. Right.
Yeah.
And what he said was just come from value and make it more like 7-1, just overwhelm them with value or connection. Right. And that's valuable as well. And I think of that whenever I think about your Facebook strategy, right? You're not going on there talking about real estate really at all. This is kind of your pop by, your quarterly call, whatever, that personal touch that we would have traditionally done in other means you're doing through Facebook, but then you're complementing it with your Instagram strategy where you are, DeVante the realtor, and then your newsletter reminding them, whatever you're reminding them about the community in terms of real estate as well. So it's that nice kind of balance. So I'm curious, when you think about triggers where you notice people are kind of escalating, maybe somebody posts something that kind of makes you think, they're going to need a house soon. Do you take an exception to your normal rule? Do you reach out and say, hey, I saw, pregnant, downsizing, kiddo left the nest? Do you integrate that?
Yeah, so that'd be a personal text. If I see it on Facebook, oftentimes I have your information, right? Like that's why I say I keep my Facebook very, very like organic. I know these people. I'll have your information, and so I'll like it. I'll comment, congratulations on your kids going off to Arizona State, for college, because it's actually a personal story. This actually just happened, and then I reach out. Hey, what are your plans for 2025? Do you have any plans for blah blah blah? And, I don't say it like that. I don't come out straight like that. But, it leads to that conversation, which is the ultimate, like it doesn't matter. Real estate, there is no one size fits all, but there's one common denominator, and it's conversations, right?
That's right. Yeah. And just like you would at a cocktail party, just, understanding what's going on in their life and seeing your opportunity to share with them, oh, I can help with that. It's very, very organic, very personal approach. I'm curious when you think about like the things you've posted, and maybe Facebook isn't the best platform, maybe it is. On Instagram, what have been the most effective posts for you in terms of generating either conversation or immediate need, people raising their hand saying me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you speak to the pain points. You either speak to the pain points or you speak to the dream, right? That's really been successful. That's really been helping me be successful on Instagram. Speak to the pain points. Right now, my target audience on Instagram is agents who have less than 4 years in real estate. So I'm speaking to a lot of the pain points. You know why? Because I was just there. I remember, and I'll tell the short story. I remember being down to $50 in my bank account, right? And this is 2 years ago. $50 in my bank account. And I was terrified. I'm like, I'm trying all these organic ways to, generate business. I'm trying this, I'm trying that. And I spent so much money. That's why I was down on the last $50. Spent so much money on things that really didn't resonate to me. They weren't in my wheelhouse or weren't in my strengths, right? And so when I got back to my basics, open houses, speaking engagements, like being out and part of the community, that next year, because that was December, I remember I'm like, Christmas is coming up. I got $50 in my account. My wife is, she's sick and everything. And like, what's going on? I can't do this. And January, everything took off because I got back to the basics, started doing open houses, started being part of my community. And that's when the floodgates opened. So that's really that.
That's awesome. And what's the order of operations here? Are you adding people to your CRM first and starting them on those drips and then seeking them out on Facebook as you meet people, I mean to say, or is it the reverse? Are you hitting them on Facebook first, developing personal, and then going and adding them to your email newsletter?
Yep. I just had a listing appointment last week, and I remember I was like, where am I going to find these people? Super nice people, maybe in their early 60s. Beautiful house. And I was like, well, Facebook. So I searched them out, and that's the first place that I put them. I've tried to find them on Facebook, and I found them both on Facebook, sent them a friend's request, right? I'm like, okay, because they were super nice. They were very nice to me. They gave me some canned peaches like that they made, or not canned, jarred peaches, not canned, jarred peaches. Super nice family. And you know what? They chose to use me, but even if they didn't, I was like, these are really cool people that I would actually hang out with. Like I'd do a double date with. And so I'll add them there. And then of course they go to the CRM afterwards.
All right, cool. So, and then your email newsletter, give us an idea of how are you developing that? What goes into that each time?
Yep. So we have just listed, like if I have a beautiful listing, where I'll be for my open house that week, and then a local event here in Bellingham, then in Whatcom County, and then one county below, which is Skagit County. So we have like what cool events are happening. And then I also have one part that says, I have this buyer looking for X, Y, and Z. If you know anybody that has, the house that we're looking for, please let me know. So just a nice little call to action. And honestly, I haven't got too many listings out of it, but you'll get people that are like, hey man, I have that house and we're looking to move, and so like, that's a little strategy that you can throw in there as well.
Awesome. And the whole entire ecosystem that you've created here, where you're kind of almost compartmentalizing your lead generation with Instagram, the realtor style posts that you're making, what's the cadence? Like, give me a sense of the last few posts that you've been making on Insta.
Okay. Last post, I was walking around my office and I was just encouraging people. Like, you know what? What did I say specifically? I remember I said that the most amazing things happen when I put myself in the right rooms or put myself around the right people. And so, it's encouragement, motivation. This is a problem. This is how we fixed it. And then, showing parts of my day, showing the fun parts, and then showing the parts where I'm out in a glacier. It's about an hour away up in the mountains, and my lockbox doesn't want to open because I don't have Wi-Fi or anything. So it's like, showing the real parts of being a real estate agent as well.
So not necessarily the sweaty palm, heavy breath. Hey, I'm here to help you with your real estate needs kind of approach, but lighter stuff as well. And you use social to actually attract agents as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah. You mentioned about the DM strategies. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, of course. So listen, we want to solve a problem. And, like we were talking about earlier, I don't want to say against agent attraction, but I just didn't understand it. And so when I went to Miami this last time, it really opened my eyes to EXP is the racehorse. And for so long, I was thinking that I was the racehorse, right? Like I am, I'm part of this. But if I said, yo, join me, I'm great, I'm with EXP, like you got to do it, then what else? Versus switching it and saying, you know what, hey, I joined this amazing company that has turned not only my life, but my business around. In fact, I'll tell this one story just to speak to those that are not with EXP. I had my state designated broker who lives about 2.5 hours away. My wife was, we had an incident in our family, and And EXP reached out, from Glenn to Russ. I mean, everybody reached out and they really cared. And not only that, but the state designated broker drove 2.5 hours, I think 2.5 hours, to my house, my personal house, to drop off food that night. And I was like, you know what? A company that cares that much, I'd be a fool to not tell everybody about. You know, it's almost like before you had ice cream and then you have ice cream, you're like, oh my God, yo, you guys know about ice cream? Well, do you guys know about EXP? And so, you know, I'm telling people about EXP and how amazing it's been, and it's changed everything.
That's awesome. That's incredible too. Who's your state broker, by the way?
So it was Robin, but she moved to Colorado or something now. I miss her. No, but now we have, she's knocking it out of the park. We have an amazing crew out here.
That sounds like Robin. That's good. That's cool. All right. So you got me. I'm interested, but I don't know anything about social media. So tell me, like, step 1, step 2, step 3, what are the next 3 steps I should take if I were going to go implement a social media strategy in my business?
Yeah, you know what? Step 1, know who you are. You know, like I can go on Instagram and try to be Tina Call, who's freaking fantastic, but we already have a Tina Call. We already have a Go-Go, right? We already have a Brian Ellington. Be yourself. And really, that's step 1. So how do I want to portray, or how do I want to come to camera? Do you want to be like, for instance, me, you know, I love to have a good time. I love to like make people laugh. So that's laced in everything that I do. I mean, even down to my listing appointments, we're going to have some fun. We're going to get stuff done, but we're going to have some fun. And then number 2, who's your ideal client? Like, what problem are you solving for people? You know, whether that be you're the first-time homebuyer specialist. Okay, well, speak to the pain points of the first-time homebuyer. And then not only that, but speak to the dream state that the first-time homebuyers want to be in, right? Show the good and the contrast. And then you'll start to get a lot of, you know, follows. You start to get a lot of questions, but be consistent. And then number 3 is make a schedule. It's so hard if you just try to do this willy-nilly, like you're at the office and you're like, oh crap, I got to record something for today. Why not make like 1 day a week or 1 whole day a month and just batch your content so that you don't have to worry about it? And then there's apps out there that help you post when you need to post as well. You just upload it all and then let it go. So those would be the 3 things: know who you are, know your ideal client, and then put some systems around those 2 things.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely well said, and in the right order of operations there. And I think that last one is what trips a lot of us up, right? We start off with great intentions, and then we kind of fall off. Inertia gets us, maybe a little bit of laziness. And sometimes you just gotta, you know, ball up your fists and get into a mental fist fight with yourself and overcome that. And it definitely helps if you've got some in the can ready to go. When your energy and your willpower are up, take advantage of it. Make hay while that sun is shining, so that when your willpower is down, you've got something you can just quickly put in there.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you as always. Thanks so much for coming back and sharing with us. I'm looking forward to our next conversation.
I really appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Happy Valentine's Day to you and yours. All right, Mr. Russ, we are back to you, friend.
Did I tell you guys that was going to be baller level stuff? Come on, really? You know what I love, DeVante? It's like, it's just simple stuff you can do every single day. It's not super overwhelming. It's a lot of little things that add up. It's not the big chunks. It's a bunch of little chunks that add up over time. So I love the way you roll, brother. You're one of my favorite people. So keep doing what you do.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, guys.
I appreciate you. You got it. See you guys. All right. There you go. Real action traction stuff. It's kind of funny because he and I kind of talked about this one time. I'm like, I'm still playing on Facebook because that's where my people are, right? Find where your people are and be there and show up, whatever that looks like. Don't worry about the trends and the fads. Your people are where your people are. Know where they are, know how to add value to them, and they will start coming to you. It's not the all real estate channel all the time. It's, hey, I'm Russ the real estate dude, but I do a bunch of other things. And a bunch of other things is usually what people ask me about. They're like, dude, you build bass guitars, you forge knives. They don't ask me about real estate most of the time, but I'll tell you what, when it comes time for real estate, that's when they ask me. So do things that show them that you're a human being doing stuff, living a cool life. And by the way, I also do real estate too. All right, there you go. Great stuff, DeVante. So we've got something that we're doing every week now, almost every week now, is EXP Solutions. We've got a ton of things that help you move your business forward. And today we've got EXP Solution short video on Build-A-Sign. If you guys don't know about it, roll the video.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the introduction. My name is Alex Hackney. I'm on the EXP account team here at Build-A-Sign. I have one of my favorite EXP folks with us today, Ariana Shelton, joining us from the sunny state of Florida. Hi, Ariana. How are you today?
Hey.
So good to see you, and thank you so much for joining us. I know you and I have worked together for many years now. I say many years, 2022. Gosh, it seems like so long ago. We met at an EXP con, and we helped you with your sign order, and you've been a loyal customer ever since. So I would love to hear quickly from you, first and foremost, maybe one of your favorite things about working with Build-A-Sign. What do you love about us?
Well, obviously, first off is you. You've been my account person from the beginning, and I could not ask for a higher quality of service, attentiveness, and just a lovely human being. So I have to start with you. I have to say, though, I'm very, very picky about the quality of my signage. That is a thing. We do a lot of listings. We do a lot of open houses. So having a product of high quality is absolutely paramount, and your signs have really stood up to the test of time.
Thank you. I love to hear that. And I know, just mentioning, because you're on a team, the Laura Marie team there in Florida too. And I know one of my personal favorite things about your signs that we created was that they were customized. And a lot of EXP agents don't know that EXP is phenomenal in the sense that they allow y'all to really customize your stuff, to really brand yourself, to help build your own brand, to help you guys stand out. And as long as you guys have state broker approval on our site, which is so easy to use, you're able to upload anything. You can go create your own designs. You customize the designs that we have on there. And again, that's one of the things I love about the signs that you and I created together years back. Yeah. So yeah, if you have like one success story or just something that you want to share just about how Build-A-Sign has helped you do that. Yeah. Go ahead. I'll let you take it away.
No, it's absolutely, because actually, in the state of Florida, our regulations are really strict, stricter than other states, because it goes by state. So making sure that we stay compliant, because we are so busy, is very, very important. And yet, what we did together at EXPCon was create signs that were welcoming. Come on in, we're glad you're here, so that as people are walking up to the house, there's already a friendly voice outside. You don't just have to stick a stick out on the street. You can, which, by the way, we get comments all the time on our street signs that those actually stand out. And then when they walk up, we changed the shape. We changed our to round, so that as people are walking, it's like a journey, each side of the driveway and one right at the door. Come on in. Yeah. So that there's, especially now with the last year, which was so crazy, people are very tense, a little bit defensive, and you can watch their shoulders begin to drop as they relax them, but they don't think they're going to get attacked at the door. So I would suggest to anyone out there who watches this that to go and look at your site, speak with one of your people to create something that's a little different, a little more welcoming, so that, because that, I would say, is the biggest impact right there.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Because we have so many pre-approved templates on the site that are so easy to access, but sometimes it's just small changes, like changing the shape of something, adding different verbiage, that really makes a difference. So thank you so much for sharing. And thank you again for just speaking so kindly and highly of us. We love you. We love all the EXP agents, and we're here to help, and we're looking forward to working with all of y'all too. So
go to Build-A-Sign, because it's going to be perfect every time.
Oh, I appreciate it. Well, that's what we try. We strive to do that, and you guys make it easy on us. So I appreciate your time. All the other agents watching, y'all go enjoy the rest of the big agent meeting, and we'll catch you guys on exp.buildasign.com. See you there. Thank you.
All right, Ariana dropping a rhyme at the end there. That was very smoothly done. Love it. All right, so there you go. That's the most of the show for today. But before we leave, we've got NPS survey. If you guys would like to grab your phone, open up your camera, hit the QR code there, and let us know how we're doing. Give us a scale rating on a scale of 1 to 10. If we're 10, you knocked it out of the park, you got something out of it, you take something and put it in your business today, you learned something today, give us a good rating and let us know how we did. And of course, you're welcome to put in suggestions if you need that too. So there you go, QR code for that. And last but not least, we have icon recognition video and followed by iConversation. Stay tuned. Check out this recognition. Congratulations to all the new icons. See you soon.
Bye.